the Madman! Welcome to RASTAKHAN'S Rumble, star ratings for Hunter. These were actually really tricky. Starting with one card that I could be wrong, the Spring Paw, hyped by Blizzard developers to be like, you know, it's nice to have a one-drop Hunter card that's going to see play over the next entire year. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, really? For me, I'm going to stick with my gut instinct, 2 stars. On turn 1, it's definitely worse than Firefly. On turn 2, it's worse than Firefly. I will admit that it is better than Firefly, probably starting around turn 4, because at that point, Firefly is just being used for 1 damage, and Spring Paw is fast 1 damage. But my problem is that it just reminds me so much of Razor Petal. It's basically 1 mana, deal 1 damage, and then get another Razor Petal. So, no, I don't see a home for the Spring Paw. The Beast Within, 1 star. Clearly a card that's meant to supplement a Beast Hunter deck or a Hunter deck with Beasts. I feel like the effect is just too small. Just doesn't quite meet my standards of impactful enough to like be a card, I guess. Revenge of the Wild is a card that I struggled a lot with where to place it, and ultimately I'm going to decide on 3 stars. Not as a hedge, but because I genuinely believe that it is a card that is going to be in and out of decks as a tech option. Sometimes it'll potentially be a one-of in Spell Hunter, because Spell Hunter has a number of beasts out there in multiples, like To My Side summons 2 animal companions. You have the Wolves of the Spellstone, and heck, it's a spell. If you do Revenge of the Wild a big beast, that is pretty sweet. I just don't envision the dream scenarios where you're Revenge of the Wilding like multiple big beasts. Headhunter's Hatchet, 2 stars. I do think Headhunter's Hatchet is going to be better post-expansion once Candleshot rotates out, but while Candleshot is still in the meta, I feel like decks are going to run Candleshot over Headhunter's Hatchet. It is a 2-3 decent amount of time, it's kind of tough to actually play the turn 1 beast. Spirit of the Lynx, 1 star. I don't believe that it's going to be value enough for the severe amount of tempo loss this puts you through when cards like Addled Grizzly and Sword of Justice have proven themselves to not work. It's 2 tempo minus to play. Bloodscalp Strategist, 3 stars. If you run 4 weapons in your deck, Candleshot and either Headhunter's Hatchet or Eaglehorn Bow, you have about a 66% chance of having the weapon by turn 3. Now the problem with Strategist is the more commonly played weapon, Eaglehorn Bow, is going to be your turn 3 play, and then you can't play Strategist on 3, like maybe you play it on 4, in which case it's closer to Gnomish Inventor, which is not great. I consider it to be very strong value when you can do it, and therefore I consider it to be worth considering in a deck. I personally have it in my Secret Hunter deck, but I'm not sure if it'll stick in there. Master's Call, 2 stars. I feel like that this will not really work out in the long run. Houndmaster is just too good of a card. So is Houndmaster Shaw. And while I love drawing 3 cards for 3, especially in Hunter, I just cannot really see nixing those cards. And I also don't see like a mid-range Hunter with just beasts in their deck as a primary focus compared to, say, Secret Hunter or Spell Hunter as the mid-range deck of choice. Halazi the Lynx, 2 stars. What I ultimately decided on is that 1/1 Lynxes with Rush are basically the same as Razor Petal, and I also made the decision, I value about 3 Lynxes per 1 real card. So therefore Halazi the Lynx, when it draws 6 Lynxes, is worth about 2 card draw. And it's like, is a 5 mana 3/2 draw 2 cards that good in Hunter? When you consider that the best case for it is drawing 10 Lynxes, that's like my equivalent of 3 1/3 cards. Super late. Baited Arrow, 1 star. The card can be evaluated as a 5 mana 5/5 deal 2 damage, because that's how you get the overkill of the 5/5. Just not strong enough compared to Flanking Strike, in short. And finally, Zul'jin, 5 stars. It's a lot like Ultimate Infestation levels, I would say. Because when you're playing it, I do see very realistic situations where you are going to be playing an additional 7 spells alongside Zul'jin, all of which are going to help you. Any secret is always good for you. Animal Companion, To My Side, Crushing Walls, Deadly Shot, Flanking Strike is good. Emerald Spellstone, absolutely insane. Honestly, Zul'jin has a slight downside that it is a hero card, because your Deathstalker Rexar will sometimes get overwritten, and the hero power is probably a downgrade. But yeah, this is a Yogg effect, which is always positive for you because of the nature of Hunter spells. Amazing card! So, Hunter's getting some good stuff. And even cards like Spring Paw and Headhunter's Hatchet and Halazi and Master's Call, they all look interesting, they all look like they could work somewhere. But man, that Zul'jin, I think Zul'jin is really going to amplify the power of Spell Hunter and Secret Hunter by so much.